From the Journals of Dorado, acting commander of the Consonant Legion. First winter, 12th day. Another letter from Senator Van Doren. Another of many generous offers of sponsorship. I'll break my silence tomorrow and make it clear that my Legion isn't for sale. They're not the first to jangle bags of gold and act confused when I don't come running. The Consonant Legion was not my first place of employ. In my 30-odd years, I've served with half a dozen mercenary companies. I sharpened my steel in the service of all stripes. Chosen, senators, warlords. In all these places, I found one thing wanting. Command. I never sought glory. I never sought the leadership foisted upon me. I don't want to lead. I want to fight. And yet everyone deemed fit to lead sends me and my soldiers to our deaths. Battles not worth fighting, where the only victory to be celebrated is when you somehow survive. The Omniculum was one such mission. I don't fault Azar, born of Draknor, for taking the job, or even for commanding us to march, but I will never forget that battle. Lost, out of control, like a fawn in the woods, separated from the herd, wondering how the hell I'd gotten here, of all places. No, that's when I swore I would never be commanded, ever again. That whether I live and die, it will be by my rules, my decision. That however this life shakes out, I will know it was my fault, come hell or high water. When I face my end, I will know how I got there. And I won't suffer anyone telling me what to do ever again.
So I'm going to mark both Crossroads and Crisis. And that is my turn.
Crisis?
Say again?
Everyone gets to mark Crisis?
So, is it either or? Yes. Okay, so at the end of each player's turn, they mark either box, not both.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's my turn. Going down in the list, it is Devin's turn.
Let's see. They don't have like a lore keeper, right?
No, I don't think I don't think they had one.
Yeah, I don't think they do.
Okay.
I think we've specifically had Kael like talking with them to try and get stories from them.
Yeah. In that case, I think Kael wants to meet with Dorado.
Yeah, I have before.
Yeah. Where would we meet?
Yeah, how formal of a thing is this? Because like the archive seems very like, oh, that's a big deal. The the training grounds, or is the estate meant to be like inside the estate, or
It's the whole grounds.
the whole grounds? Okay, so yeah, then the estate or the training ground seems
Yeah.
very like, yeah, this is Legion stuff. Bulls and Crows is like, oh, we're just shooting the shit.
Yeah, I was either thinking a walk through the gardens at the estate. Oh no, the gardens got wrecked, right?
Yeah, they did.
Then this is a walk and talk on the walls of Novara.
Oh, sick.
Very like Game of Thrones, walking the wall and talking about the fate of the world. Let's see, who else? Would anybody else be here?
Ruin's armies have joined up with Whispers.
Oh, bad.
I mean, yeah, we knew that was going to happen. That's fine.
Soon.
I don't know if anybody else is here.
That's fine. Small scene. Let's
Sure.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dorado, I'm glad you could meet me here. I think like the sun is setting and we're like looking at it, the training ground being packed up.
Mm-hmm. We're up on the walls, though?
Yeah.
We're like on the walls near the training ground, I guess?
Yeah.
Close enough that we can see it. Okay, yeah, sure. I think Dorado like looks at that and then looks the other way at just never just spreading out outside the city, and it's just like, yeah, you sure can pick a meeting place, Kael.
I like to offer perspective. Past, present, future.
Mhm.
You know, the multiverse is
Sorry.
Yep.
an inspiration for the mind.
Uh-huh. What kind of what particular perspective were you hoping to get from me up here? Because I gotta tell you, things don't look great.
Well, what did you think of the senator's proposition?
Which ones?
That it'd be simpler if there was only one legion.
That was Ygraph's, right?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Although did
flashback to
Wygraph-
Sophina saying something like, "Oh, I think you performed much better than that other legion led by Azar. I think you could do great work here in this."
God.
Huh. One legion. I mean, I don't know. We saw what happened the last time there was one legion, and we're both staying in the same campgrounds, Kael. I'm aware of. We're all aware of the current. What's the nice word for this? Temperature? Sure. Around there. You really think it's going to end up as one? Because there's not a whole lot of similarities once you get past the name.
Yes, but the more we fight each other, the more victims there will be before we have to fight them.
Hmm.
Even though there is, precedent for one big legion being a bad idea, there's equal precedent for multiple legions being a bad idea. But I know you don't have a lore keeper amongst your ranks to tell the stories of old.
True. So then, imagine with me. We join up. Who's in charge? We don't really do that. So, does that mean you all kind of, I don't know, get off your high horses about titles and commanders and all that crap? Or are you going to make us start joining the rank and fight like the going by all of that titles and medals bullshit? Like, what is it going to be?
I don't know. Unfortunately,
What's the
Azar has
precedent
the tallest horse in all of Zelshadal.
Yeah, no kidding.
I think that is a bridge that we must cross and a bridge that we must burn if we need to in order for the survival of everything. You may have to, pretend that he's in charge. Enough to get the job done.
That's just a recipe for another this. That's the thing. Over on our side of the camp, sure, we don't have a commander, but when a decision needs to be made and when you put your life in someone else's hands about that, whether you come out of it alive or not, what's important is that you believe, you trust that person was doing what was best. So if this merger, joining, whatever the hell we call it, is based on pretending, well, then it's not really one at all, because if we don't actually think that any of you have our best interests at heart, or vice versa, because I've seen the way some of your side of things look at us. I don't think they could trust us as far as they could throw us.
To be
I
fair,
don't
we've
think-
suffered many casualties at your hands.
Likewise. That goes two ways, bud.
Well, what are the pros of a divided front? We keep doing things the way we've been doing things,
Well, it's gotten us this far, hasn't it?
and where will it get us to come?
I'm not an augur. Although we did just get one of those. Maybe I should ask her.
Is that scene?
Yeah, I think so.
Cool. Good one.
So I guess I'll use my touchstone
Yeah.
power here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think people are scared.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can. I can speak for Dorado soldiers as well, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think everybody's fucking scared, and they're like, their fates are currently being decided by all these people in power. Even though Dorado, claims there isn't really a power structure, like,
There's the strong man social capital thing going.
And she's here meeting with me right now, meeting with the other Legion to discuss the possibility. Like, there's
Like
things
Dorado
happening.
isn't a power.
Yeah.
She's the only one.
Dorado is not a power.
But she's the only one in the other Legion known as the Adamant.
This is true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But yeah, I think there is, like, these soldiers giving each other weird looks, so, talking shit. But, like, deep down, I think everybody's kind of feeling the same way of, like, fuck, what do we do? This is terrifying.
What the hell is going to happen?
Yeah. Like, either way, we're, like, fucked. But yeah, that's my power, my touchstone ability.
So mark a preference.
Because I feel like they were somewhat amicable in that. That's. I'm going to say it's crossroad because, like, we continued to think about it and we laid out our options.
Now, which side, yes or no, does Kael fall on at the
Yeah.
moment?
Oh,
So-
yes. Sorry.
So when you use a touchstone power, you either mark preference for the yes or the no.
Yes. I think it's yes because, we're fundamentally all scared. And if we band together, we might have everybody believes in their heart that if we band together, we might have a fighting chance. But also everybody acknowledges how fucking complicated that's going to be.
Okay. Mark yes for Kael. Now reactions. Gavin.
I have an idea for a scene, but it could just be small enough to be a reaction. I don't know. We can pass for reactions too, right?
Yes, you can.
I'll pass.
Okay. Kris.
I don't. Maybe we do see Dorado, like, following up on that and going to talk to Carla.
What do we think Carla says? Or maybe we don't necessarily have to have that. I just
No, yeah, like
wanna have the
I was just like, just all interactions with Carla thus far have been like very. I'm just like, is Carla less? Like, is Carla any more cooperative with the other Legion? Like, I don't know. She's still kind of a prisoner there, so I don't know how well that goes.
I bet
I have a pitch.
Go ahead.
My pitch is that she says, I'd rather die than work with them.
Yep.
Oh, great.
Yep. That's true. Matthew, reaction.
None, pass.
Okay. My reaction is simply that Samnael was listening into this conversation.
Great.
I think.
I almost thought about Zem being there, but I wasn't sure how to fit it.
Yeah. No, Z's like taking an idle stroll, smoking a cigarette on a lower scaffolding, just out of sight.
Is he really inconspicuous?
Extreme. Well,
When Z wants to be.
yeah, like Z looks deeply, notable, but is very, very good at like just finding that exact shadow to just sort of like lean into, cross their arms, and just sort of, let everyone else talk for a little bit.
Blowing smoke at the right moment to obscure themselves as we walk by.
Exactly. Okay, mark Crossroads or Crisis, Kael.
I'm going to mark Crossroads, even though, like,
Yeah.
we thought about it. We laid out some options. We had an amicable discussion about the possibilities. I think it at least pushes us towards, making an informed decision. So I think that's Crossroads.
I think you made a really good case for what it's worth. Gavin, your turn.
Okay. I think several members of the other Legion, including Dorado, wake up with notes tied to their palms saying, Sheev, Raffin, Tarback, their blood, your hands.
Jesus Christ.
Shit.
Cool.
For those that don't remember, those are dead people.
Those were the people that the other Legion killed that were members of our Legion.
Great.
And I'm going to take a crisis box.
You should still mark which choice you have a preference for, though.
Lark wants to know.
Okay. Kris, reactions.
Can I use my roll power in a reaction?
Absolutely.
Great.
You just have to tell me how that character reacts.
I think maybe this is a Nikolaj and Carla talk at some point. Just to get I imagine they're like talking about like what the vibe is on both sides, and it's not great. I think the prediction is if yes, because I know I can't say like, oh, some people are gonna die. Or I can't say anyone specific is going to die.
You can. You could say anything's going to happen.
Yeah.
No, but I think as a perspective, I'm pretty sure I read somewhere it's just like you can't just say someone straight up is going to die. I can't say things about...
Your prediction must be about the kingdom and the crossroad. You can't predict what will happen to a particular person.
Gotcha.
Predictions also can't replace the other roles. So yes, you could say that people will die if that happens, but you can't say X will die.
Yeah, I think if yes, infighting is going to break out again in a way where people die.
Dissonance precedes consonance.
Great. Yeah. Good words.
Matthew, reaction.
I think Azar has known Lark long enough to recognize her handiwork.
Mm-hmm.
Would you agree, Gavin?
Oh, yeah. I think Marshall even, like, if Azar didn't know, would be like, oh, yeah, that was Lark.
I've been figuring that Lark and Azar have known each other for almost as long as Marshall and Azar. Lark might even be in on it. Anyway, we can figure that out later. But I think
Lark's in on it in as much as, like, as long as I get to do the thing that I'm good at, I don't care who's in charge.
I think that Azar summons Lark into his tent and says,
Commander.
Oh, Lark doesn't speak, right?
No, just signing Commander.
Right. Sure. And he says, I understand. I understand that you still feel their loss. So do I. But the Senate would have us all killed. We don't need to like them, but we do need to use them. You won't pull a stunt like this again. Understood?
And Lark is like, Azar's probably able to read this, like few probably would be, but Lark is like, I was going easy on them. Like, given a face of like,
I know. Lark could have just slit their throats. I'm aware.
Yeah.
Maybe Azar just says that. He says, I'm aware you could have slit their throats easily, reticent. This is a delicate time.
Signs understood. I guess it's just a thumbs up. The angriest thumbs up.
Maybe it's a salute.
Yeah, it's a salute. The angriest salute.
That's fine.
Azar, do you have a roll action to use there?
Yeah, I think this is just an order. No soldiers will go along with any attempts to antagonize the other legion.
Okay. Lowercase s soldiers.
Yes, lowercase s, sorry.
Right.
And obviously, named characters can still ignore that.
Of course. I'll pass. Devin, do you have a reaction? Does Lance have a reaction?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we think there's already been some like fights breaking out?
Not yet. But, or unless Lance is about to start a fight.
Yeah. Has there been any like particular action taken against like some of the recruits that we got from the other legion? Has anyone been messing with them?
I think Lance is trying to take his like role pretty seriously and does care about morale. And I think he stops a soldier from like going to go start some shit.
Nice.
And they end up fighting and Lance beats his ass.
Yeah.
I like that.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Kris, your turn. Crossroads is not yet filled. Now is your scene to set a scene with your main character. Who else is there? Where you are? What's going on?
Okay, great. I think this is Nikolaj talking to Kael in the archive.
Mhm.
And I think wants to talk to Kael, because Touchstone, like, how are people feeling? You know, Nikolaj only has so much of a read on the Legion. And two, it's like comparing past and future.
Uh-huh.
So did we talk about what the archive is like? Is this just like big room full of books, but also refugees now?
Yeah, but there's also like a big spire that has like
Ooh.
I'm imagining it very like Dark Soulsy looking, where it's like a spiral platform that goes up, and there's like books that go up this spiral. There's like shelves that go all the way up, and then there's an observatory at the top. And when you go here to find Kael, they're like, oh, they have an office. They've been keeping an office in the observatory, so you have to like walk all the way fucking up there to see them.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I think Nikolaj can appreciate the eyes of smoke-ness of this building. This feels like a thing that they would do. But yeah, I think goes and finds Kael, knocks on the door of the office if there is one.
Mm-hmm. It's probably like like a little side maintenance booth thing for the observatory. And as you enter, they look at you and say, "Did you enjoy your walk through history?"
History is. Everyone okay?
It's
Okay.
Yep.
History is not usually my area of expertise, but yes, it was fine. I came to talk to you about the opposite, the future. You know, I know you know the precedent for where this goes, but given recent events, how likely do you think it is that these two legions actually get along?
You know, some say time is a cube.
Nikolaj just looks at Kael with a "what the fuck" kind of expression.
But yeah, we're stuck to the facet that we're on, and I don't think getting along is the worst thing that we'll have to deal with in the coming days.
But you do think it will be bad?
Undoubtedly, it already is, and it'll get worse.
However, if we don't, we are all the more vulnerable to the machinations of the Senate. They already have people on edge with their visits. Do you think the majority in the camp on both ends of it can be convinced? Or is this going to be... I know you don't give the orders, but do you think when the order is given, should it be given for us joining up, that people will take that in stride?
It'll be taken with a myriad opinion. What does, I guess boss is not the right word for it, but what does the leader of your order think about this? She certainly pulled a stunt there at the training ground.
Like I said, if we remain separate entities, we are all the more vulnerable to the Senate's machinations. He just sort of looks with a face that's just like, and I think this is what Sofino wants.
Interesting. Well, when you came here, were you seeking wisdom, context? What can I provide you besides my omens?
I guess I was just looking for context. I know it's been some time, but I at time feels as though I'm as much an outsider to the Legion as I ever have been. You know them better than I do, certainly. So, a read on the people, and I think I've gotten some information there, so thank you.
The people are upset. I'm not sure there's anything that can counteract that.
Good to know.
We must be vigilant to not be victims.
We must. And then probably, these are both Ilianders.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, give some, is there, an Iliander goodbye? It's not a fucking secret handshake, but it's not a cool kid's high five, but
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Maybe there's a phrase.
I think it's Nikolaj trying to be see, I can hang, I can chill in a sort of, in an Iliander way.
Yeah.
Says goodbye.
I have more than just my loyalties to X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think they just say, flow with the wind. Which is a reference to the funeral dirge song, but
Yeah.
Cool.
There might be some response that's the next line, but I don't remember the lyrics of that song, aside from the pucker up, pucker up.
break with the tide.
Oh, excellent. And then, we'll leave. Don't want to bother them no more.
They weren't doing anything.
Cut to Kael's book. It is just completely blank.
Kael's book is hollowed out and full of snacks.
Yeah.
There's a doodle on it.
Nikolaj, do you have a prediction?
Yes. If no, I don't know exactly how to word this, but I think that if we don't merge, the Senate has an easier time fucking with us. I just don't know how to make that concrete. Or so if no, wait, because I wanted to put it on the no side.
Yeah, one thing I want to stress is that these should be really clear and specific. The previous one has been rendered as dissonance precedes consonance. I'm not sure what that means.
Okay. Sorry, I just like that wording.
It's good wording.
Violence breaks.
But we should have really clear references for ourselves as to what's going to happen.
I think the yes was violence will break out within between camps before anyone settles down, I guess.
I don't know
or
if it
is
even
it just
suggests
violence will break out.
Yeah, I don't think it suggests anybody will necessarily ever settle down.
Okay.
Yeah, they should not be qualified. It should be a if then.
True. Okay.
Yeah.
So then the if yes is violence will break out between camps. If no,
the Senate will try to take direct control.
Yeah, maybe it brings the charter into it, right? If no, neither will get the official deed thing, right? Because they're not is it they won't give it to, they're not going to split it between two legions. There will be one legion. Or is it the Senate gets to decide which is the true legion?
We lose
Yeah,
all
Gavin?
agency if no.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So then I'll just go, if no, the Senate calls the shots or something.
Sure.
That sounds great.
Exactly what Azar doesn't want. And exactly what Y-Graph wants.
Yep.
It's
Bad
okay.
times
My
are
next scene, my scene idea goes into this, fits into this really nicely.
If it's okay with everyone, I'm going to do my reaction first, just because the timing of it fits really well.
Sure.
Okay.
As Nikolaj is leaving, the camera observes. Maybe Nikolaj even sees, but there is someone like standing like across the archive and up a railing that is like really, really deliberately like is someone who could go out of their way to probably not be seen if they wanted to, but has decided to make themselves evident. Sort of professionally, darkly dressed, dark skin, sort of a goatee, kind of messy black hair. And I think Nikolaj doesn't see where he goes, but he reports back to Y-Graph that the augur with the Legion met with the lore keeper. And Y-Graph is going to use power to say that the movements of the augurs in their midst will be more closely monitored.
I wonder if that's one of those things where like Nikolaj is just walking down and then like pauses like he's remembering something he read and looks up.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, good, great. No worries there.
Matthew, reaction.
I have a whole scene reaction here, so I'm just gonna pass.
Okay. Devin, reaction.
Trying to think like where Kael's head would be at after that.
Mm-hmm.
Because like they still believe in their desire for this to go towards unification, but also they were just kind of like, yeah, it's gonna fucking suck.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think they just kind of sit there and write sad poetry for the rest of the day.
Mood.
Just trying to work out that bad vibe and try to see if they'll have a fresh perspective tomorrow.
Gavin.
Yeah. Sofina's in her office. There's an aide with a clipboard. Sofina's looking out the window, and she says, "The letters I wrote 3 months ago, mail them."
Kris, mark crossroads or crisis.
I think I'm gonna mark crossroads.
Okay. Matthew, your turn.
Yeah. So I think that if it's all right with everybody, I think I'm going to jump a little bit into the future. Just like maybe a few days here.
Okay.
And I think that Azar has invited the leadership, but not leadership, of the other Legion.
Mm-hmm.
Because in addition to Dorado, I believe that there was also another supply person. No, not supply
There was a
person.
quartermaster and there was a spy
Quartermaster, thank you. Yes. So those three.
Yep.
And Lark. And he has invited them to the Terran Sepulchre.
Okay.
Interesting. I think
It's a weird power move.
Yeah. The quartermaster is someone different than who we've seen previously. That role has rotated out.
Sure. I think that the message went to Dorado, and it was a request to meet her and the current, whatever word they use, because he would know the word.
Yep.
At the Terran Sepulchre.
Okay.
Is Lark visible or?
Oh yes, he needs her to be visible for this.
Okay.
He would have talked to her about this ahead of time. So just Gavin, so you know, and everybody else just pretend that you don't know. Although I guess it might just be Kris playing Dorado. We'll see.
I'm closing my ears.
Thank you.
Wouldn't it be the Titan Sepulchre? Sorry. Terran sounds
Sure.
like Earth.
Sure, Tyran sounds good. I had no idea.
Tyran.
Tyran. Anyway, Gavin. So what Azar would have done is he would have gone to Lark and he would have said that he would have informed Lark that he was going to need her help for this. That he had through separate funds, not the Legion funds, which I think Lark would be able to put together as probably like the Azar family fortune, right?
Yeah.
Because they definitely have money. But through separate funds, he has bought a cairn in the Sepulchre, and they're going to symbolically bury the dead members of both legions since they broke apart there. That's the excuse of why they're there, and that's the very public reason that other people, like the senators and stuff, are going to hear about this meeting. The secret reason is that Azar is going to explain to them what Ygraf's plans are for the joined legion and why they need to band together against that. And he needs Lark there because they don't trust him, and he knows they don't trust him, but they respect Lark at least.
Okay.
And you were there and you heard Ygraf's whole speech.
Okay, I'm opening my ears.
Okay, cool. So Dorado is definitely there. I don't know if Devin and Brendan, you want to play the other two members.
Yeah.
Do we have anything on these other two? We know the quartermaster swapped.
What are names?
The new quartermaster is named Nine, he, they.
Nice.
Looks like Mark Hunt from UFC.
Incredible.
He's fucking huge.
What?
Love that.
Yeah.
And then there's the spy master. Was the spy master the same?
We didn't see the spy master.
Oh, right.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Devin, you want to invent a spy master?
Yeah, sure. This is their name is Argyle.
Nice.
And they're Comorti, and they have like raven feathers.
Nice.
Cool.
Dope.
I think when the three of you get there, I'm assuming you arrive together.
Mm-hmm.
Azar is already there. In my mind, this works a lot like how a lot of real life cemeteries just have like walls where they've like cremated people, and they stick them in little urns and they put them in the wall, and there's a little like, name and year and end date.
Martha Wayne.
Yeah, very much so. And I think that here it's that, but a larger scale. So this is a whole section of the wall, like half a room in length, and it's empty. But around it are all these like cairns, like various decorative, very fancy. There are senators and soldiers and heroes buried here.
Yeah. Did Azar say that Lark would be here?
No, but Lark isn't hiding.
This is true. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Is Spy Master just walking out? Like, your call, Devin, I guess.
I think they're a little bit more flamboyant and present than Samnael.
Love a showy spy. Cool. So yeah.
Nine is dressed formally, completely like silent, showing the place that her respected deserves.
I think Azar is kneeling as you get there. I think there's little like places to kneel with like cushioned things, or at least like not stone, maybe it's wooden or something.
Sure.
And he rises as you approach, and he says, "Thank you all for coming. I would have invited the entirety of your legion, but I did not feel everyone would fit."
Argyle instantly makes eye contact with Lark.
Lark looks Argyle up and down, but not in the flirty way, in the like, how would I kill this person in this moment way.
You're seeing Argyle's like hit points read out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the critical hit areas are highlighted.
Lark's in Fallout VATS vision,
Like Terminator vision.
Yeah.
Lark lives in Vat's vision.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You see where my concealed knife is, and
Mm-hmm.
You're walking funny on your right side. That means you've got a knife in your boot.
Mm-hmm. And Azar takes a step back and gestures towards the empty cairn. and says, I have made arrangements. If you agree, if your legion agrees, and I do not expect the three of you to make this decision now, those you have lost along the way here, and those we have lost, will be interned here in the sepulchre.
I think Dorado looks genuinely surprised. 'Cause, like, I don't know, like, the Tyrant Sepulchre, that's, like, lorekeeper or not, that's a thing that Dorado would know, like, yeah, this is where we get buried. This is where the heroes get buried and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so genuine surprise.
But not Taida herself. She died in her village with her people.
Right.
Mm-hmm. But, like, still, this is, like, that's a pretty big deal, right? Like, has to know, like, I mean, yeah, we'll have to talk to everyone about that. Is trying to figure out, like, what game. I think probably just ask, like, what's your game here, Azar?
Azar smiles, and I think it's the first genuine smile. I don't know if he's ever smiled in front of Dorado before.
Yeah, if she could look more surprised.
Yeah.
No, he's given
Black Dynamite gif, I am smiling.
Yeah, exactly. He's given little short smiles, I think, before, or hidden smiles. But I think he does smile here, and it is genuine. And he says, "Lark, are we being watched?"
Yeah, probably. No?
Well,
Not by Y-Graph's people.
no. Y-Graph's people aren't there.
But yes, we're being watched by Sofina's people.
In that case, I think that that was quite enough that no one would be able to hear it. In that case, I think that Azar gestures and he says, "Please step forward. There are areas of the cairn I would like to highlight."
I think Dorado kind of, like, looks to Argyle with a sort of, like, did Argyle see anything on our way in? Like, are we being watched from where? So that Dorado knows, like, how do I need to position myself so that we can talk?
In terms of the Eyes of Smoke people?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Where would somebody, like, conceal themselves in a tomb?
It's big. It is like, imagine a football stadium is too big, but, like, imagine a gymnasium. This is a good standpoint.
Yeah.
Imagine a gymnasium where all the walls are graves and, like, multiple levels to it.
Yeah.
They'd probably be, like, in the path outside or something like that, right?
Yeah. I think what Argyle says is that woman over there, that small child over there, that really gruff-looking man over there, they all appear to be civilians, but I've seen all of them come in and out of the Eyes of Smoke headquarters in the past few days.
I think 9 turns in place and positions his considerable frame in the entrance of the cairn and begins solemnly but loudly singing a hymn.
Nice. Yeah. I was gonna say, like, maybe we do something to, like,
Yeah.
bounce noise around in here. Nice. And then, yeah, Dorado will step in. Okay.
4 nights ago, I was invited, along with Kael, to Senator Y-Graph's for dinner. Lark was listening in on the conversation.
Nods.
All right. What were you talking about?
A bit louder now. You see in the back there's room, I think, for a prayer area. Small, but it will do. And then quiet again. He talked of hiring my legion, my part of the legion, for a job, along with your part, to go and fight the Never directly.
Eyebrows shoot up like the fuck.
Azar coughs to mask any reaction.
Yeah, I think Dorado probably says something to keep up the
Facade.
the outward conversation. Yeah, it's just like, something about like your Legion must be doing really well to afford this much space or something like that. It's still kind of like, it's still pissed that just like, okay, I see we're not getting invited to those meetings either. Cool, great. And then quiet. So a suicide mission?
Yes. We are inconvenient heroes, Dorado. I know you do not care for me, but you care for the soldiers under my care. As do I. Our best chance through is together. And I hope, and he gestures at the tomb, not as a facade now, and I hope this can be a start of that.
Yeah, I think Dorado looks at Argyle and we've probably like walked around it enough that she can like make eye contact with 9 and then out loud says like, I mean, we'll bring this up to the whole Legion, of course, how they feel about these arrangements, but it's certainly something we'll take into consideration.
All I can ask. I think that's scene.
I guess this is my reaction, but more of a prompt for Matthew's power ability. They walk out of the sepulcher and Lark has tied up 2 people.
Yeah, I'm game. I'm game there.
Well, it sort of looks at Azar like with a knife in hand.
Oh, geez.
Dorado and Argyle as well.
Azar says, Lark, this was simply a matter, and he looks at the 2 of them very closely. This was simply a matter of discussing a grave. Release them.
Unties the rope, kicks them. They run off.
I'm going to take Crossroads.
Okay. Gavin, if Lark has a touchstone reaction as part of that.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to switch to yes, but I am going to take away no.
Okay. So don't delete it. No, don't delete it. Put it back. Put it back.
Lark, what have you got there?
Now,
show me what you have.
She signs a knife.
There we go.
Excellent.
Strike through.
Okay,
That's it.
strike through. Okay.
Okay. I don't have a reaction. Devin, do you have a reaction here?
Fuck. Yes. My reaction is that Kael is kind of wandering around the Dorado's Legion's camp, just kind of chatting with people.
Mm-hmm.
And just trying to, learn more about them. I think they do introduce themselves as the lore keeper from the other Legion. I don't know if people treat them with deference or if they give them a hard time, but yeah, trying to get a vibe.
Sure. Kris, reaction?
Yeah, I think it's Dorado and the other Legion talking about this. I do like the idea, though, that when Kael introduces himself as lore keeper, people are like, oh yeah, how long? Like, how long you been on rotation? Who else does that over there? Just like, what?
It's something I picked up in college. I was going to be a senator.
That fucking long?
I was going to be a senator once, or originally, but I don't like making decisions for other people.
OATHSWORN is an actual play podcast created by
Devin Nelson,
Gavin Fregeau,
Kris Allison.
Matthew Guzdial.
And me, Brennan McLeod. All music for the show is created by Devin Nelson. Find it and more at devindecibel.bandcamp.com. Find a link to their music and any of the games that we have played in the podcast description. Follow us at OATHSWORN Pod on Twitter or OATHSWORN on co-host. If you like the show, please consider sharing it with a friend or leaving a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. Until next time.